Obama has even spoken on this, complaining that college students are, quote, coddled and protected from different points of view. Would you say it's worse now than it ever has been?
Definitely worse than when I was a kid. But I think also part of growing and learning about ideas and being able to express yourself is hearing both sides. I love seeing op-eds on both sides. I like in the classroom presenting sort of both sides and letting them argue. My youngest son does debate, and he comes home with the issues, and then he says, well, I got to do the pro and the con. So he has to learn both sides of the issue, but you learn your opponents and you learn the strengths and weaknesses of both sides. But if you ban one side, or you ban it because, oh, that's a sensitive subject, we're not going to talk about it. College should be the absolute place. People are not yet decided. This is a great place to have discussion, and if you ban discussion on college campuses because it's politically incorrect, that's a real problem.
Particularly this issue, though, because it's so divided the nation.
Right.
You know, and it's very sad as a person of color to see them not be able to work out their differences and really talk and get juicy in that issue, because it's important.
Absolutely.
Right. And I would also say that I'm very much, well, I'm not a big fan of sort of Black Lives Matter, because I think it sounds like only Black Lives Matter, that it should be every. But I am very much, and from coming from a different place, I was middle class, upper middle class, my dad's a physician, but I have learned a lot about the anger in our cities, and that there is no justification for violence, but there is anger, and we need to understand it. And the story that I tell is the story of Khalif Browder, who was a 16-year-old black kid from the Bronx who was arrested but never convicted of a crime and spent 3 years in Rikers. And when I think of people who are angry in our cities, I think of his family. He ended up committing suicide. He was in solitary confinement for 2 years, never convicted of a crime. When I think of his classmates in high school or his family, I think, gosh, if I was his friend, I'd be really unhappy and angry at the system, at the man. So I am starting to understand where the anger comes from, and that we need to fix things as far as the law and criminal justice in our system.
That's a great point.
Because it isn't being meted out fairly.
That's a great
point. Free speech is critical. We got to talk
more about that in the future.